Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our YouTube channel, and thank you so much for joining today. Guys, please click the subscribe button down here. It should be somewhere here. Click the button and make sure you turn on the bell so that when I post the next video, you would be the first to watch. So today's video, I want to talk about a list of some countries you can actually enter in 2024. So if you are an international student and you are looking for countries you can migrate with family, then these are the countries you should put into consideration. Now remember, for you to enter these countries, it also depends on what you want to study. It also depends on your budget. It also depends on the program or the level of the program. When I say the level of the program, I'm talking about if the program is a bachelor's program, if the program is a master's program, or if the program is PhD program. I feel a little hot. Let me increase the volume. So please make sure you pay attention to this video, and I will be talking about the very first one. I will start with the very first country, which is Australia. With Australia, if you are a PhD student, you can migrate with your family. But remember, most PhD candidates in Australia are fully funded. So I will advise you, if you want to move to Australia, you should either be chasing masters or PhD, but PhD will be preferable because if you gain this PhD and the scholarship is awarded to you, definitely you can move with your family at once. Remember, moving with a family to a foreign country is going to be very stressful and sometimes consumes a lot of money. You need a lot of money, you need a lot of resources, and it drains you at the same time. So please put all this into consideration. After this, I'm going to talk about, for those that I can remember the proof of funds right now, I'm going to give you. Then if there are some details about tuition, I will equally give you, so you put all this into consideration. Remember, the higher the tuition, the more stress you are going to put in because you need to now double your proof of funds, which is one of the things that you need to do in order to migrate to this country. So country number one is Australia. Now let's take a look at country number two, which is Canada. For Canada, if you already have a bachelor's degree and you have working experience, I will advise you to take a look at the PR pathways, get your IELTS, evaluate your results, go into the pool, and also try to see if you can get the express entry. Now remember, this PR pathway is not something you can really rely on because most of the time it is the Canadian government that is going to do draws, and draws usually comes sometimes after 2 weeks. But as I'm talking to you, the last draw that was done was almost 3 weeks ago. So you never can really rely on this particular pathway, which is the PR pathway. It is always good that if you are doing this pathway, you should also have something else you are doing, in which case, if any of them is like yields fruits, you move immediately. Now the PR pathway is only for those who have a bachelor's degree already and 3 years working experience, and at least can calculate and are not too old. So for those of us who are already above 30 years, then I do not think you should only focus on the PR pathway because it might limit your chances, it might slow you down to enter Canada. Now, the other pathway or the other thing you can do to enter Canada easily is to apply as a student. Apply for a school, apply for colleges, apply for universities. I have a lot of videos on this channel. I have been talking long time ago, explaining to you the advantages, the places to go to easily get PR. Remember, as a student in Canada, you would definitely still go back to the express entry pool, or you might decide to go for Canadian experience class, which means that you would go in, get qualifications, get selected, apply for PR, get PR, then before you move to citizenship. But it all depends. It all starts when you finish your studies. You start apply for postgraduate work permit before you reach these other levels. So what I'm trying to say is work permit. Do not apply for a school that does not have a DLI. Most importantly, the DLI. Then when you get admissions, now all you need to do is to put your documents together, proof of funds, home ties, letter of explanation, supporting documents, and you apply for the visa and you are good to go. But remember, for Canada, you need a lot of money. For Canada proof of funds, you need your entire tuition fee. your living cost money, which is $10,000, and miscellaneous. Assuming your tuition fee is $15,000 a year and your program is 2 years, you need $30,000 plus 10,000 Canadian dollars for living costs, then miscellaneous $3,000 to $4,000. So if you look at this, that money is close to like maybe 15 to 16 million. Now, how are you going to get this money? Assuming you do not have the money, will it be easy for you to move? But again, this is the best option. If you can move with your family, fine. But remember, the stress is also one thing you should consider, because moving with family on the first go, especially when you are the lady, because I know kids are attached to their mothers so well. So if you are the man and you guys don't have a kid, let's say you and your wife, you don't have a kid, then that is fine. You can go in because the both of you are adults. You can always cope no matter what. But if you have children, I will advise you to go in first. But if you really need to move with your family, then Canada is the best option for you. As of now, if you ask me, I would say Canada and not Australia. And it depends on the person, like I said, the finance, your choice of country, and a whole lot of other factors. So put this into consideration. Now, another country you can migrate to with family is Finland. So if you are targeting Finland for 2024, I didn't explain to you that Canada is already open and accepting applications in some colleges and some universities. So put this into consideration. If you are looking at Finland for 2024, note that the general application for Finland is going to begin in January. It's going to start January. That's when the joint application will open again. There was a joint application, but that one was just for bachelor students who want to study bachelors. Definitely, this one that is going to open for very soon by January 2024 would be for everybody, masters and bachelors. So make sure you apply to Finland. Finland is accepting families. That is to say, if you have an admissions to study in any university, being it the University of Helsinki, Turku University, or Savonia University of Applied Sciences, or Novia University of Applied Sciences, Applied Science University, or a normal university, you can move to Finland. Finland is accepting families. Now, one thing you should understand is that you also need money. All this process is all about money, guys. So put this into consideration. Because for Finland, you as a single individual, you need just 6,720 euros to immigrate to Finland. Okay, that money has to be in your bank account, your personal bank account, and after you have paid your fees, right? But now, if you are moving with family, you need more money to be in your bank account, and again the process will be a little complicated because you have to legalize your documents. You have to I think authenticate your marriage certificate, though not very complicated, because of course all you need is money. That is what I'm saying. Then you can apply for the visa. You apply as the primary applicant and put the others as dependents. This is how it's done for Finland. Then another country you should put into consideration is Sweden, and again, Sweden is very expensive when it comes to study abroad opportunities. The reason is because tuition fee in Swedish universities is not that smiling. It is very heavy, guys. So before you even apply for programs in Sweden, make sure you check the university. I have said this process is on universityadmissions.se. So when you are on universityadmissions.se, make sure you check the program you want to apply to and check the first deposit they need. All right, because if you do not check the first deposit they need, you might not be able to pay the tuition fee when you have applied for the program. So please put this into consideration. Then another country you can move with family is Iceland, and for Iceland you can only move with family if you are a master's or PhD student. Now remember, you need at least 11,000 euros for proof of funds for you alone to migrate to Iceland. Though some schools like the University of Iceland are not that expensive, but you still need a lot of money. Now, if you are migrating with family together, you need more of this money. Assuming that you are going to the University of Iceland, you want to move with your family. Now you need 11,000 euros. Then if you have to move with your 2 children and your wife, you still need money for them as well. And definitely the 3 of them will cost them around 9,000 euros again for you to add to the money. So if you are not really heavy financially, I will not encourage you to start moving abroad with families. But this video is essentially just to tell you that you can move to these particular countries with family at once before let's say if you gain a student visa, you can move with them. Not like you gain the student visa, because if you really want to move with them, apply to these countries, apply to universities in this country, because you will need to include them in the visa application, not after you've gotten the visa. You need to add them in the visa application before any decision will be made, not after you have gotten the visa already. So please put all this into consideration and look at your finances. Remember, you can study diploma courses in some of these schools in these countries like Australia, Canada, and even in Iceland. And you can study language courses in some of them like in Finland, Portugal, and Sweden. So guys, look at what works best for you. Take a look at the tuition fee of the program you want to study. Some schools are very expensive in some of these countries than others. So I would like to draw your attention to this, and make sure you check very well the school you are going to, how much is the tuition, before you embark on it, because as soon as you are applying for the visa, you have no choice rather than to apply.